A single mother's life takes an unexpected turn when she encounters a wealthy widower in need of healing. The dimly lit hospital corridor seemed endless as Maria Hernandez walked with heavy steps, her heart aching with each beat. The doctors had just given her the news her 10-year-old daughter, Sophia, needed urgent surgery to repair a congenital heart defect. The bill was astronomical, and Maria, a single mother working 2 jobs, knew she couldn't afford it. She leaned against the cold wall, tears streaming down her face, as she pulled out her phone to call her neighbor who watched Sophia when she was at work. "Mrs. Thompson, I need to stay a little longer. Sophia needs surgery, and I don't know how I'm going to pay for it." Her voice cracked, and she took a deep breath to compose herself. "I'll figure something out," she whispered, more to herself than to her neighbor. As she hung up, she heard soft sobbing coming from a nearby room. She looked around, remembering the house rules never disturb the guests, especially in the penthouse suites. But the sobbing was raw, desperate, and she couldn't ignore it. She knocked gently on the door. "Excuse me, are you all right?" The sobbing stopped abruptly. After a long moment, a deep voice called out, "Go away." "I'm sorry to bother you," Maria said through the door. "I'm just cleaning the hallway and I heard. Are you hurt? Do you need me to call someone?" Silence stretched for what felt like minutes. Then the door opened to reveal a man in his early 50s with dark hair, piercing blue eyes, and the kind of bone-deep exhaustion that comes from carrying unbearable pain. Even in his wrinkled dress shirt and disheveled state, she could tell he was someone important, someone wealthy. "You should go," he said quietly. "I don't want to be disturbed." But Maria saw something in his eyes that reminded her of herself on her worst days. That lost, desperate look of someone who had reached the end of their rope. "Sometimes it helps to talk to a stranger," she said gently. "Someone who won't judge you or expect anything from you." He stared at her for a long moment, taking in her simple cleaning uniform and kind face. "You don't know who I am." "No, sir, I don't. But I know what it sounds like when someone's heart is breaking." Something in her voice must have reached him because he stepped back and gestured for her to come in. The penthouse was magnificent, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city and furniture that probably cost more than she made in a year. But none of that mattered when she saw the photo clutched in his hand. A beautiful woman with long blonde hair and a radiant smile. "Today marks 5 years," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "5 years since the accident, since I lost everything that mattered."